Sunset Country is the heart of northwestern Ontario, and tourism is the backbone of this economy. It has also been one of the hardest hit industries during this COVID-19 pandemic. Since 99% of our customers come from the United States, our camps still sit here empty. Under normal circumstances, tourism generates $500 million in tax revenue each year and contributes $450 million to Ontario's GDP. All of this has come to a screeching halt with the pandemic and border closure, and we have yet to see any meaningful support from our government.
Our family business has been passed down from my grandpa to my dad and now to my brother and I. We are third-generation owner-operators. I feel that there will be nothing left of our business to pass down to our children, and our business will die with me.
The uncertainty of everything and raising a small family in a business like this is heartbreaking to know you could lose it all with no government help.
We were looking at probably one of our best seasons that we were going to have, and once this COVID-19 crisis started, basically our business shut down as of the middle of February on.
This was our first season owning and operating our outpost camps. Over the last 1.5 years, we have put our heart and soul, along with using our own personal finances, in making our dream a reality. Now we have to figure out how to navigate this extremely difficult financial loss alone.
99% of my guests come from the US, so I sit here in the middle of June with an empty camp and still no word on what's going to happen in the future.
One of the hardest parts has been dealing with the floods of phone calls and emails from our loyal US customers and not knowing what to tell them. But with no answers from the government, we have no answers for them. It's heartbreaking, not only for us, but for our guests too.
With the US-Canada border remaining closed, it looks like we face losing 100% of our 2020 operating revenue. That means that most of us will have gone nearly 20 months before we make any money again. How many businesses can live that long with no income? The government has also suggested that we market to domestic tourism. Canadians make up 0% of my lodge's guests. How am I going to make it when I need 400 Canadians just to break even for this season?
It doesn't mean anything to be open for Canadians. We don't have any Canadian customers.
I've worked in this industry for over 20 years. I've experienced the ups and the downs of the industry, but this year is an absolute blow to tourism. For the many hardworking years, myself among many others have built a platform in tourism. This will be destroyed if we don't receive help.
Camp owners, we're all modest, hardworking people. We've built our companies and our camps from the ground up. We're always too proud to ask for help. We never ask for help. We just dig in and we work harder and we push through the challenges we face every year, but this is a pandemic. The border closure has literally brought us to our knees, and if we don't get help, we don't know who will be around next year, which is going to be a huge impact on the economies in these areas that we live.
The average person, unless they've been in this industry before, really can't even begin to fathom the overhead costs that we're faced with. We got millions of dollars in aircraft sitting at the end of the dock with no work. We got a $200,000 insurance bills, hundreds of thousands in aircraft maintenance, $30,000 owed to the government in land use permits. These examples just scratch the surface. How would you pay these bills on a zero income?
The government thinks that loans are the answer for our businesses. Loans will just put us in future jeopardy of failure.
Our government has given CERB for students to sit at home, collecting $2,000 to $3,000 a month with billions of government money being handed out. These students will survive without this kind of money, but businesses like tourist camps that need support can only access loans to take on more debt. Why is a student at home being supported by their parents a higher priority than our entire industry that supports the backbone of Sunset Country?
A lot of us put a lot of investment back into our business from new equipment, to renovations, new buildings. So a lot of money is put in, a lot of loans are taken out, and most small businesses only operate on a small percentage of profit.
We're all sitting here with empty cabins and no income, trying to figure out how to pay our fixed costs. We hold out with hope that we can salvage some part of our season to make some of our payments. But at what point do we give up? At some point, there's a breaking point, and it costs more to open up, to run a few weeks or a month, than it does to just stay closed.
It's not only tourist operators that are hurting right now. Many other businesses have already had to close their doors in hopes to weather this storm. If tourist resorts do not make a comeback, these businesses will never open their doors again. Almost every business in these small towns rely on either tourist dollars or on money spent by the operators themselves. The trickle-down effect is huge, and if help doesn't come soon for Northern Ontario, we're all done. Or these towns will soon be ghost towns.
Decisions on how to help us, the Northwestern Ontario tourism sector, should not be based on the advice from those who do not have to deal directly from this devastation.
Can I ride this out, or are we just lying to ourselves?
We've never asked for help before. We never did need help before. We are hardworking people and we want to work for our money. But this is simply not the option here. We need our government to step up to help us all survive.
And, I've been in this business for 36 years and have weathered many storms, a couple recessions without any problem, but this is something we could never have seen coming or planned for. Many won't make it through this without some sort of help.
Without any type of direction or support, we don't have a fighting chance.
The government needs to hear us and help us, or we will not survive.
Our payments don't go away with no income. Taking on more loans for future payments is not the answer. We don't know what our future holds, and there's no way we could have prepared for something like this.
We need to be heard, and we need to be listened to.
Most of these businesses are family operated and built from the ground up. We live, eat, sleep, and breathe these businesses, putting everything back into them. We've never known what it means to work 8-hour days or take weekends off. We employ thousands of hardworking individuals like ourselves. But because we are made up of hundreds of small businesses, we don't have one big voice, and we are being ignored. We could survive this if we were just given a chance. If help doesn't come soon, the heart of Northwestern Ontario will be gone.